When I first came to America, for obvious reasons, couldn't speak a word of English. And television, but especially comic books, really opened up this kind of, the world of anything is possible. My first impression was of Superman, world's finest comics. The thing that struck me was all of a sudden this guy, mature man with a curl, Elvis kind of curl on the thing, was flying through the air, which I'd never seen as a child coming from another country. And all of a sudden, the notion of all things are possible, it's not your, there are dreams. Other cultures have dreams, religions, and then reality. That American thing, and it really was born there, created by Jews, almost universally without exception, the comic book world. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and all those guys, somehow the underclass, just like American music came from black people, not from the European elite and intelligentsia. It came from the lowest rungs of society, former slaves, and that begat jazz, rock, blues, and so on. And this Jewish thing, not only inventing Hollywood and the movies and TV thing, and people who hear this are going, oh, you're just waving that. I'm not waving, it just is. The French can cook, and the Italians can do opera, and Jews can make comic books. And so this very bizarre thing happened to me. My eyes and the ideas of maybe and what's possible and not, vistas without end. I mean, if you're going to reach for the stars, they say, reach the unreachable star and all that. Comic books did that for me. They continue to do that for me. And when I was a kid, they were called funny books and comic books, and they were made fun of. I taught 6th grade in Spanish Harlem, and I brought in Spider-Man number 36 to school to try to get these kids from bad neighborhoods to care about literature of any kind. So to try to get Puerto Ricans and little black kids in New York to care about Jane Eyre, the idyllic, rosy-cheeked little white snowflake skinned girl from England going through the meadows. They don't have fucking meadows in New York. There was no connection emotionally, and they could give a squat. But as soon as they met Peter Parker and Spider-Man, they got it. Here was a little kid, teenager, no luck with girls, got pimples on his face, lives with his grandmother because his grandfather was killed, and where's his mother and father? I don't know. The cops hate him, the bad guys hate him, but secretly, we know he's a good guy, and he's better than that, but he's got to wear a mask because he's got to hide his secret identity. And in the racist world that America was and continues to be, if you're Puerto Rican or black or, the underclass, you connect with it in ways that literature couldn't. So we had really rousing, deep conversations about the nature of Spider-Man, not who he was fighting or who drew it, but what is it like to be Spider-Man? They got it. They got it more than the white kids. White kids just thought, hey, fantasy. The Hispanic and black kids said, no, that's me. Oh, I not only collect comic books, but, we've had 40 years of comic book deals from Marvel, IDW, and all that stuff, and you have some collector's issues there. But I have all the original art. That's part of the deals I negotiate, literally. So we have thousands of pages of original art. I do not have the Howard the Duck one because that was prior to our deals. But I've got all that stuff, yeah? Again, coming from another country to the land that invented comic books and flight and movies and all that, and the fast-paced life and everything, just beyond anything. Here I am, 1 second reading the first issue of Fantastic Four comics, and then within a few issues meeting Namor the Submariner and memorizing who wrote. I knew Sam Rosen was the letterer. I used to speak with Flo Steinberg, Stan Lee's secretary, used to bug them at Marvel, and then finding out that I was going to fight Dr. Doom in a Kiss comic book. Oh my God. And that we would meet Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four and so on. You just couldn't imagine it. Reality and fantasy just sort of like the Twilight Zone. The door opens up and things happen. And it wasn't long before Marvel and Kiss decided to do something big. And Marvel didn't know that we had big ideas, specifically and respectfully myself, yours truly, because I know this stuff. I knew about Don Heck and Herb Trimpe and Dick Ayers, and that Larry Lieber was secretly Stan Lee's brother, because Stan Lee's real name is Lieber, and they're both kikes, and all that stuff. Kikes, coming from the Hebrew word kaikel, which is a circle, God's perfect invention. Did you know that's where kike came from? Now you know. But in all seriousness, the comic book phenomenon, when I was a kid, it was funny books. Now they're the predominant pop culture force on Earth. From Avatar wasn't a comic book, but don't kid yourself, that's comic book stuff. And people think of comic books as, oh, I don't know, the Hulk and the Fantastic Four and so on. The road to perdition. There are a lot of very serious, comics that shouldn't be called comics. For a while, Marvel called them panel graphic, pop arts, and so on. Comic books are the new rock and roll, because from 1958 until 1988, well, you still have to pay for movies, you see. And in records, you can download and file share for free. And as soon as you allow people to go into a supermarket and walk out with anything they want without paying for it, how long do you think the supermarket's going to be in business? Not very long. That's what's happened to music. It doesn't affect me. I'm a rich prick. But the new bands breaks my heart, because a new band will never get the chance we got. So from 1958 until 1988, 30 years, we have Elvis, the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, Rolling Stone, the biggest of all time, and maybe the best. And you have in disco Madonna and Prince and Bowie and AC/DC and the heavy stuff, Metallica and so on. That includes U2 and all that. From 1988 until today, who's the new Beatles? Excuse me? There aren't any. There are popular bands, but that ain't Elvis. No. And that's only, the talent is out there, that's only because generations of new fans have been trained not to pay for something that somebody is working their ass off for. You see this guy filming us? You can shake the camera up and down if it's true. Do you get paid for doing this? We want to get paid too, bitch. Just what you need is a college kid going, well, you make enough money. That's what I need, is some guy who's just came out of his mom's womb deciding how much I should make and when it's enough. Don't listen to these communists and socialists. Work hard, and you should get paid for what you do. And Kiss, you'll see tonight, we spared no expense. We give you bang for fucking buck. We show up on time, there's no drugs, there's no booze, it's professional, because we have the utmost respect and admiration, and yes, love for our fans. We deliver. But we can only do that because we've been around when there used to be a record industry. The new bands can't put on shows like this, and that breaks my heart. And who's responsible? Big corporate entities, aliens that invented us? You, yeah, the one that downloads and file shares. You're killing your own bands. You're not hurting me. Too late for me. I got more money than you want to know. And this is not about like me talking about myself. What it means is you're killing your bands. And by the way, they're going to get together and I say, what an asshole. He doesn't understand. We're a band. We're a people's band. We want people to do it for free. If you talk to bands, they don't want to do it for free. They want to get paid.